You are a newspaper reporter. Most days your job is simple. Write what happened, check the facts, meet the deadline. But today, one phone call changes everything. A 14-year-old boy from Chicago has disappeared in rural Mississippi. At first, it sounds like another local crime that will never make the national papers. Then someone quietly adds one sentence. They took him from his uncle's house. You grab your notebook, your camera, and the first train you can catch. When you arrive, the town feels strangely quiet. People lower their voices when the boy's name is mentioned. Some refuse to speak at all. Others glance over their shoulders before answering even the simplest question. The missing teenager is Emmett Till. He came from Chicago to spend part of the summer with relatives in Mississippi. Only a few days earlier, he had been laughing with cousins and visiting local stores like countless teenagers before him. Now he is gone. The official information is limited. There are rumors. There are contradictions. Almost everyone seems to know something. Almost nobody wants to say it openly. You begin writing down every confirmed fact instead of chasing every rumor: date, time, location, names. Who actually saw him last? Who only heard the story from someone else? Which details can be verified? The notebook fills slowly. Hours later, investigators recover a body from the Tallahatchie River. The discovery changes everything. The victim has been killed. The case is no longer about a missing teenager. It has become a murder investigation. Officials begin collecting evidence. Family members are called. Witnesses are questioned. You watch experienced reporters fall silent as more verified information emerges. Then you meet Emmett Till's mother, Mamie Till Mobley. She has only one request. She wants the world to see what happened to her son. Many people urge her to keep the funeral private. She refuses. Instead, she chooses an open casket funeral. She believes people must witness the consequences of racial hatred with their own eyes. Soon, thousands of mourners file past the casket. Photographs published in black newspapers and magazines spread across the country. Readers who never knew Emmett Till now know his name. Your notebook is no longer recording only one investigation. It is documenting a story that is beginning to reach far beyond Mississippi. And the trial has not even begun. The courthouse is already crowded before sunrise. Local residents gather outside. National reporters begin arriving. Civil rights observers quietly take their seats. Everyone understands this trial is becoming larger than a single courtroom. You review your notes one more time. Every sentence you publish must be accurate. Inside, witnesses begin describing the final hours before Emmett Till disappeared. Some testimonies agree, others directly contradict one another. As the days pass, another pattern becomes impossible to ignore: fear. Several people hesitate before answering. Others avoid eye contact completely. Some refuse interviews after leaving the courthouse. Every conversation feels like someone is measuring every word before speaking. Then Emmett's relatives testify. The courtroom becomes almost silent. You stop writing for a moment, not because there is nothing to record, because some moments deserve complete attention before they become headlines. Outside the courthouse, people argue over what justice should look like. Some insist the evidence is overwhelming. Others defend the accused before the verdict has even been announced. You begin receiving calls from editors in Chicago and New York. They want updates every few hours. This is no longer just a Mississippi story. Newspapers across America are placing it on their front pages. Meanwhile, photographs from Emmett Till's open casket funeral continue spreading across the country. Millions of Americans see images that many newspapers had rarely published before. For countless readers, racial violence is no longer an abstract subject. It now has a face, it has a name, it has an age. 14. When closing arguments end, everyone waits. Hours feel longer than days. Finally, the jury returns. The verdict is announced, not guilty. The room erupts with different reactions. Some people celebrate, others stand frozen in disbelief. You write the words exactly as they were spoken. No dramatic language, no exaggeration. The facts are powerful enough on their own. Outside the courthouse, reporters rush toward telephones to file their stories. Editors interrupt printing presses. Extra editions are prepared. Across the United States, millions of people will wake up to the same headline. The defendants have been acquitted. For many Americans, the verdict raises a larger question. If this could happen here, how many other cases had never reached the national news? You close your notebook. The trial is over. But the story is only beginning. The newspaper hits the streets before dawn. You expect readers to move on within a few days. Most stories do. This one doesn't. Letters begin arriving at your newsroom. Some thank you for reporting the facts. Others accuse the press of stirring division. The responses come from every corner of the country. One thing is clear, people are talking about Emmett Till. Churches discuss the case. Community meetings fill with concerned families. Civil rights organizations point to the trial as proof that change cannot wait. The photographs from the open casket funeral continue appearing in newspapers and magazines. For many Americans, they become impossible to forget. You travel to interview people who had never met Emmett, teachers, veterans, parents, college students. Many tell you the same thing. They can no longer pretend this happened to someone far away. The story has become personal. Months pass, then years. You continue covering new demonstrations, court cases, and demands for equal rights. Again and again, one name returns: Emmett Till. His death did not create the civil rights movement. The struggle had begun long before 1955. But historians widely recognize his murder and the public response to it as one of the major turning points that brought new national attention to racial injustice in the United States. You realize something else. The most important evidence was never a dramatic speech. It was careful reporting, witness testimony, photographs, documents, facts that could be checked and preserved. Your notebook is now worn from constant use. The first pages contain simple notes from a missing person investigation. The final pages tell the story of a case that helped change a nation. You look back at your very first entry, a missing 14-year-old boy. At the time, you believed you were covering another local tragedy. History would remember it differently. Today, Emmett Till's name appears in museums, history books, classrooms, and public memorials. His story continues to be studied not because history can be changed, but because it can be understood. You close your notebook one last time. Some stories end when the newspaper is printed. This one never truly did.